Thinking now, dear one, of where I lived with Mum and Dad, a posh house, one of the best in the small town. Opposite Down Hall itself, an estate. Only, I don't know, 5 acres or something, but magnificent gardens, one or two gardeners, part-time. And stables. No horses now, of course, just an elderly couple, Brigadier Shenston and his wife. I don't mean I really knew them, but they let me play there in the garden, freely. They had a conker area, horse chestnut trees to grow round the main gate, which sort of shaded and shrouded the entrance and made it all very posh and private, As kiddies, you intrepidly dared to go in there when you shouldn't. And of course, when I was found one day by Brigadier Shenston's wife, she just said, "Oh, who are you, dear?" I said, "My dad's Captain Clark, lives over the road there." "Oh, yes. Well, you can come in any time, dear, to play." And I did. But that's not the subject of this recording. Next door was a house with the lake. Again, they had more land than us. We had 1.5 acres. They must have had 3 acres. Well, they had a 5-acre field behind that as well. Their garden was down one side of us and hooked round the bottom of our garden originally. And they had a big pond that was once the farm pond. And between our garden and theirs was what was once a cottage, the remains of it, so to speak. Still had a roof on it, but and a very uneven floor. So one side was the lake and the other side was the wall on which our greenhouse was attached. So you could go into our greenhouse, which was very small, and directly opposite there's another green door, which we used to lean the wheelbarrow against because it was, it wasn't meant to be a thoroughfare. It was next door's property beyond. And you could open the door and you go through into what would have once been either a bedroom or living room of this, no internal division walls now, shell of a house, but with the roof on and the remains of 2 tiny sort of glass windows, stained glass type windows around, and then the length of the house actually going onto a platform, a balcony over the pond, the lake as I thought of it as. I mean, it was big enough to have a boat on it that you could row. But the whole pond was probably not. It's probably 1/2 acre or something, Some big fish in there, mostly rudd. Yeah, and lots of mosquitoes on an autumn evening. Masses of them. The way they cluster over water by the edge, rising and falling, whole colonies of mosquitoes. I used to get bitten terribly as a kiddie. Well, somehow I put up with it, got used to it, I suppose. But yes, this couple, of course, were quite well off. Probably Dad was similarly as well off, but they were well off. They owned Ravens, a big men's shop in the city, small city like Southend-on-Sea. It wasn't a city then, it was just a town, probably still is. But big now, it's probably 240,000 or something, I don't know. Oh, and the wife, Madge, she owned Madge's ladies' shop, which was for older, overweight ladies. So they were well off. And they had, it was called Willow Lodge, the house, which was quite close to the pond. Lots of willow trees around the pond. And little blue flowers in rockeries, and it was a fairyland for a child to have the freedom of. I had the freedom of their garden as well, you see. I could play in any of these huge gardens. Well, on the far side of their house, the other side, there was a little stream, tiny stream. I mean, nothing very posh, just water flowing down a ditch, so to speak. But overgrown with hedges, and beyond it, we're not talking about more than, 15 feet or 20 feet or something. It was another building, sort of temporary building with, well, not much windows, none on the little stream side, the house side. And the chap lived there was his or her brother. The owners of the house, Madge and husband. And he was something inadequate too. I don't mean demented, I mean just perhaps not the most able. And they'd looked after him all their life, of course. But in a separate sort of way, he lived not in the main house. There would have been bedrooms enough in the main house, I'm sure. Willow Lodge. But he seemed to live in this almost shed, from my point of view, next to the house, across the little stream ditch of water. There's a little bridge across it. I don't mean he was never in the house. He was during the day. I think he had a living room in the house, in effect. I'm aware now, when I look back, of these inadequate people that were somewhere in my field of being in my childhood. And of course other people in my street were poor relative to us, and the cluster of houses round where we were, the hall, down hall. Poorer people. Oh, it was such a rich and poor, in a sense, society I lived in. Sort of class structure. It had its good side to it, but so lacking as well. I don't know how to evaluate it, it just is. And I trust, we have to trust, don't we, that God simply has things right, beyond our comprehension, but appropriate to the needs of so many, all of us, by His grace and kindness. So we thank you, Lord, not knowing but trusting. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.